Hi, may I take your order? One lead-filled aluminum baseball bat. I'll have that right up. Sorry, what was that? That's not what you said? Too damn bad. This is the baseball bat I will be using. It is an Easton. Now, I've got to remove that plastic cap from the end and somehow get all the corking out of this so that we can fill it up with lead. But before we do that, I'm going to wrap a piece of diamond plate around the end here. Just like this piece here. Actually, exactly this piece here. I'm gonna cut it short, wrap it around somehow, and bolt it on. I think it's gonna look pretty swanky. Let's do it. I decided I could go Phil Swift style and cause a lot of damage. Fun fact, this is the same knife he used in the bucket video. However, it's just not causing enough damage. Due to the angle I'm working with here, I decided my vertical drill with my 1 1/8 bit would be a more appropriate tool for the job. So let's get to it. Well, that's not good. Well, this job just got a whole lot easier. There's nothing corking this baby up. Now let's get to the next part, whatever part that will be. So now we're here. My plan, I've got this bat. I've shaved most of the paint off of it here. I've got 2 holes drilled here, but that was just for concept. I'm probably gonna fill those in. They don't line up too well. Of course they don't. It is now hollow and corked, as you saw in the last part. And I've got a little line marked right here. That's where I'm going to fill it up to for the start. Now, I'm not beginning to fill it up with the lead. I'm actually going to take a piece of rebar that I cut to match that length there. So we're about ready to do this, actually. So we could just drop that in there to the bottom. And that's gonna be about level to that line. Not only is that gonna help fill up the bottom with a little bit more weight, that is also going to help save material. I forget what I was even going with that. Doesn't matter. Oh yes, when I fill it up, it's gonna help me see from the inside exactly how high I need to fill it. So I've got a huge bucket of water here. Let me bring you to that. It's actually a trash can, and when laid at an angle, the water comes to about that line, as you can see right there. And I'm gonna fill it up, and the water is gonna help cool it down as fast as possible, because that handle there is gonna burn right off if I pour any molten metal in there without it. So I'm going to just do that. Also, you can see I'm not in my normal full uniform because it's just too hot and humid for that. So we got the bow tie today. The metal that I'm going to be using to fill up the first half along with that rebar is this. It's an aluminum zinc mix that I made by accident. It is very brittle, but it is very heavy. It's pretty strong and brittle at the same time. I know that doesn't really make sense, but if you had a piece here, you'd understand what I mean. So yeah, I've got a jar of that here, and yeah, let's get to melting this down to fill that up to the line. Hopefully it meets the mark. If it doesn't, oh well, we'll just add in some aluminum. And the reason I'm using this is because A, it's heavier, and B, I just want to get rid of it. It was, like I said, a mistake. It was an accident. So I just don't really want to have it sitting around, and I don't want to just throw it out. So this is the perfect opportunity to use it. Like I said, it's heavier than aluminum. I don't want to fill up the whole thing with lead. because that would be really, really expensive and a little bit out of my budget range. So we're just gonna use this and get rid of it. Dropped a little bit there. Let's put it in the crucible. I'm going to be using this smaller crucible. It doesn't all fit in here. We've got a little bit left in here, so as it melts, we'll just add that into here. And because this is mostly zinc, we're going to be wearing a gas mask, a very heavy respirator, because zinc puts off very deadly fumes that could cause a metal fume fever, which is very unpleasant. So let's get that on real quick. Respirator on. Oh, don't forget gloves. Up the pressure. So, oddly enough, there's no zinc oxide. Even though there should be a lot. The handle took it pretty well with the water. I'll put this down. Well, that didn't sound good. Oh, it looks fine. Looks like the bat's cool enough not to melt the side of the trash can anymore. That's good. Alright, whatever. Oh, that's interesting. I'll have to get a look at that when the camera's ready. So I'm just gonna let this cool. All right, the bat has finished drying. I will unfortunately have to do the lead, the bolts, and the diamond plate in a part 2 because of sourcing for lead. That's a little tight right now, but I think I'm gonna have that covered very soon, so that should be handled. The bolts and diamond plate, I'm going to actually be explaining some of that in just a sec, along with some science, talking about density in metals, a bunch of nerd stuff. So when I say skip here, if you want to just skip all that, skip to the timestamp here. I'm also going to have that there. Actually not there. Ignore that. I'm just gonna put it all up on the screen when I say that and then get to that point. If you just want to skip that sciencey mumbo jumbo. Part 2 might not be out for a little bit due to the lead thing, and right here we actually have some good news. It is a 25 subscriber plaque that I designed and 3D printed. Here is a quick clip of some of the designing for that in 123 Design. And the reason I have not made a video on that, I tried to, however, I've had a lack of motivation due to everything that's going on in the world with coronavirus, and specifically in America with the protests. I'm not going to get into that too much. I'm going to try and keep this channel as little politics as possible. However, we do have some good news right now with the 25 subs. When I get to 50, I will probably make another, maybe out of metal, 100 if we get there, hopefully, and so on and so forth. You guys can choose what I will be making these next play buttons out of next. So let's get into the science part, and if you want to skip that, skip to the timestamp here. As you can see here, there's a diagram of the bat, which we have right here, and we're going to be discussing the different makeups of the bat. Now, everything you see here, this outline, is aluminum right here, element 13, which is 0.1 pounds per cubic inch, or that would be 45 grams. Everything down in here, right here, this line is represented by steel, or this piece of rebar. This is actually a piece cut right off the same piece that lays in the middle there. That is about 0.28 pounds per cubic inch, or 127 grams. The space around it is full of zinc aluminum, which I'm going to estimate is about 3 parts zinc, 1 part aluminum, 75% zinc, 25% aluminum, which comes out to 0.22 pounds per cubic inch, or 99.8 grams per cubic inch. That is a makeup of, like I said, zinc, which is element 30, 0.26 pounds per cubic inch, or 118 grams, and aluminum, element 13, we already went over that. All the space in the top here is going to be full of lead, element 82, which is 0.4 pounds per cubic inch, or 181.4 grams per cubic inch. Now, around in this space right here, there's going to be some diamond plate, which is, again, made of our aluminum. That is going to be bolted on with 2 bolts. One is a shorter bolt and one is a longer bolt, which for the purposes of this, we are going to represent with these 2 magnets, shorter, longer. Now, you'd originally think upon thought, as I'm trying to have the mass heavier or greater as it goes up and thinner towards the back, or lighter, you'd think put the longer steel bolt towards the end and the shorter closer to your hand. However, when you look at this, lead is denser and heavier than the steel, so the more space that can be filled with lead at the end, the heavier it will be towards the end, leaving the lighter and smaller one down here. If you think about it, it just makes sense, because steel, like I said earlier, 0.28 or 127, which is a lot smaller than 0.4 or 180 1.4. So that's just the makeup of the bat. That's how I'm going to arrange the bolts. If that didn't make sense before, I'm just doing the, I originally thought, you know, put the longer bolt at the end. Then I thought, no, because if that was the case, then it would actually displace the lead from up here and have more lead down here, less lead up here. And lead, as we said before, would be heavier than the steel. That is going to do it for part 1 of the aluminum and lead baseball bat. Thank you for sticking to the end. There will be a link in the description to my Instagram, as well as a link to my TikTok, where I post updates every now and again. So please make sure to go check those out, and please, please, please consider subscribing and liking this video, and share with your friends if you think it's interesting and they'd like it as well. Yeah, that should be it for the video. So thanks for sticking to the end. Catch you later.